Have you ever wanted to journal but you didn't know where to start? Today I will give you 5 easy ways to begin. No pressure, no perfection. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Ben. I'm 32 years old and I started journaling more than 17 years ago. And I have to say that I think that journaling actually is the one most important practice you can implement into your life to grow and to make your life better. But I understand that there is a whole lot of information out there about the topic of journaling and that it can be kind of overwhelming to get started. So my first tip for you is to actually just start really small. You don't have to sit down for half an hour every day to make this work. In fact, you can just write a couple of sentences or sit down for 5 minutes a day. That's more than enough. In fact, I have many days where I actually don't do more than 2 to 3 minutes, and that actually gives me a lot, because as with many things in life, the benefits you get from journaling mostly come from consistency rather than intensive sprints. Another way to make journaling easier and more accessible is to just use journaling prompts. You just pick one prompt a day and then you'll write a couple of sentences on the topic of that prompt. For example, one prompt could be, today I'm grateful for ... And you come up with a couple of things you're grateful for this day. Another one could be, something that challenged me today was ... And a third one, if you want to look ahead and plan the following days, tomorrow I want to ... Now these prompts sound very simplistic, and there are many more out there than just these 3, obviously. And you kind of have to experiment with them, but they actually help you to eliminate the problem of what do I actually write into my journal, right? Thirdly, one of the most important things to make this a consistent habit is to actually pick a time and a place where you can do this, ideally every single day. For me, that's just right before going to sleep. In fact, I always journal in bed, right? I have this small little lamp with me, I have my pen and my notebook, and I just write for a couple of minutes, reflect on my day, reflect on what I want to change in my life. And that way, not only can I be very consistent with it, because I always have this spare time for myself, but also it helps me to fall asleep better, because I don't have to process these things lying wide awake like many people do. Other people might prefer doing it right in the morning. This is a common thing as well. Or you want to do it on the train or on the bus to work. Just find a time that you have exclusively for yourself and make sure that you do this consistently. The next tip is that journaling is just for yourself. It's not about perfection. It's not supposed to be read by anybody out there. So don't stress about whether your handwriting is beautiful or if your grammar is right or if your spelling is right. All of this doesn't really matter. Like, my handwriting is extremely messy, and it's even more messy when I'm writing into my notebook. And sometimes even I myself have difficulty to read it later on, but that doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you get your thoughts on a page and you don't really have to worry about how it looks and what other people might think about it. And then lastly, choose a format you enjoy. Like, I personally just like to write into these small little notebooks, these pocket notebooks, for example. But some people actually prefer to write on a computer or on their phone, actually. Even though I don't really want to recommend that. But if you don't have a pen handy or you just want to organize your thoughts on a device, that's totally fine. I actually heard that there are some people who create a voice journal. So they go for a walk and they have their phone or a recording device with them and they just talk into that. That can be effective as well. And one more bonus tip, as with many things, we human beings most of the time just struggle with starting a task. So one thing that could help you with that is to just set a 2-minute timer and tell yourself, well, I'm going to journal for 2 minutes. And if you don't want to go on after 2 minutes, that's totally fine. You can just stop. But most of the time, once you started, it will be way easier to continue after 2 minutes. So you probably will even journal on for longer than that. So I hope that was helpful. If so, I'd be glad if you gave this video a thumbs up and you subscribe to the channel. I actually like to talk about notebooks and journaling a whole lot, and I can really recommend this video for you where I talk about how to replace your smartphone with a notebook. I hope you're having a nice day and maybe I'll see you soon. Goodbye.